Hello and welcome to the QTV News Desk. We take a look at the stories making headlines. The opposition UPND has made some changes to its leadership structure ahead of the convention, with Geoffrey Mwamba appointed as UPND Vice President for Politics. Japan has pledged $2.9 billion United States assistance towards promoting swift progress in achieving universal health coverage in various countries. Hello once again with the news in detail. My name is Chitalu Chinsenge. The Opposition United Party for National Development UPND has made some changes to its leadership structure ahead of the convention, with Geoffrey Mwamba appointed as UPND Vice President for Politics. Other appointees are Patrick Mucheleka as Deputy Secretary General for Politics, Gertrude Imenda is Deputy Secretary General Administration, Gilbert Lisoniso is now National Youth Chairperson, with Pastor Kangwa Chileshe becoming UPND Deputy Chairman, Religious Education. Obvious Maliteta has been appointed as Lusaka Province Chairman. Announcing the development in Lusaka, UPND National Chairperson Mutalena Lumango advised all members across the country to support all the new appointees for the party to make progress. Ms. Nalumango says those with concerns on particular appointees must follow the laid-down party structures to air their concerns. She says UPND will continue to promote an all-inclusive and all-constitutional process in appointing party officials. She adds that the newly appointed officials will hold office until the next UPND General Assembly. The UPND National Chairperson states that the General Assembly will be held after elections at lower organs of the party have been concluded.
I thought in the beginning, particularly members of the press and those that are listening, that I made it very clear. One, in my speech, I've said for efficiency. When you have so many vacancies, efficiency is not there. You will not talk of people being dropped. We haven't dropped people. We were filling vacant positions and transferring people as we see the skills and talent being, unfolding. So it is for efficiency. I gave another reason in the beginning as to why we need to fill these vacant positions. Let me even mention here that we are filling vacant positions even at provincial level. The entire structure for us to be ready to prepare for the electoral college. Members of NMC are also members of the electoral college, those that have to elect the new NMC. So if we go there with so many vacancies, we cannot raise the electoral college. But mainly, it's for efficiency and not to waste manpower when we have.
Japan has pledged $2.9 billion United States assistance towards promoting swift progress in achieving universal health coverage (UHC) in various countries. Japan Prime Minister Shinzo Abe says through this package, his country will support efforts of countries and organizations in strengthening momentum towards UHC by the year 2030, among other initiatives. Mr. Abe disclosed this in Tokyo, Japan, when he officially opened the UHC Forum 2017, which has attracted global leaders, parliamentarians, and players in the health sector. Zambia's National Assembly was represented at the forum by Bwana Mkubwa Member of Parliament, Dr. Jonas Chanda. Also in attendance was the Director of Policy Analysis and Coordination at Cabinet Office, Kusivya Hichikumba. The Prime Minister said securing sustainable financial resources for UHC is an urgent task. The Prime Minister says there is also need for individual countries to establish and strengthen platforms to promote cooperation by making cross-sectoral efforts covering fields such as nutrition and water and sanitation. Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said gross inequities continue to leave the most vulnerable behind without access to affordable and, in many cases, unavailable health services. He disclosed that out-of-pocket spending for health causes, an estimated 100 million people fall below the poverty line every year, and the World Health Organization WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus noted that the UHC strategy has the potential to provide the world's population access to essential health services if well implemented by all countries. Meanwhile, Dr. Chanda, who is also chairperson for African Parliamentarians Association on Population and Development, Zambia, described the forum as a good platform where participants have lent best practices in ensuring access to quality and affordable health services. He said he is happy that the Zambian government is taking steps that will help the country achieve universal health coverage. Dr. Chanda said government's decision to present the National Health Insurance Bill to Parliament is a good move that will see more people access quality health care. Dr. Chanda said there are huge benefits for the country if focus is emphasized on the health sector, especially that Zambia has a huge young population. This is contained in a statement issued to QTV News by Zambia Embassy in Japan, First Press Secretary Yotam Mugara. The Zambia Red Cross Society says it currently has over 1,500 volunteers that have been deployed to help out in all areas that have been hit by the cholera outbreak in Lusaka. Society Communications Manager Bruce Mulenga tells Q News that the volunteers are helping in raising awareness on how the further spread of the outbreak can be curbed through various sensitization activities. Mr. Mulenga says the society is working closely with the Ministry of Health to help avert the cholera situation in the country. He is also helpful that the messages of sensitization people would be able to, there are currently over 740 cholera cumulative cases in Lusaka district, with 20 deaths that have been recorded since the outbreak in October this year.
The Zambia Red Cross Society is concerned with the outbreak of cholera in Lusaka. And so the Zambia Red Cross has, deployed a total of 1,500 volunteers in the 3 sub-districts of Lusaka, and this is Kanyama, Matero, and Chipata. So all these volunteers are assisting in sensitizing and providing awareness messages or campaigns, if you like, to communities in these sub-districts. And we are working very closely with the Ministry of Health to provide, sensitization and providing hygiene promotion to communities in these sub-districts. We hope that with the messages of sensitization and hygiene promotion that the Zambia Red Cross is doing, people will be able to adopt, safe hygiene practices so that the outbreak of cholera is reduced.
Health Minister Dr. Chitalu Chilufya has described the year 2017 as a healthy, successful and progressive year for the health sector in the country. Dr. Chilufya said in an interview that a lot of strides have been made in the year 2017 aimed at enhancing service delivery in the health sector and in addressing most of the challenges faced in terms of the health of in the country. Dr. Chilufya has noted the increase in budgetary allocation of 6.8 billion kwacha to the sector as one of the major strides towards disease elimination, prevention and control. He has also noted the formulation of the 7th National Development Plan, which has recognized the health of people as being central to the development of the nation as another major achievement for the sectors in the year 2017. He adds that the commitment and political will exhibited by President Edgar Lungu to the sector also helped in making 2017 a healthy year. Dr. Chilufya notes that President Edgar Lungu launched several campaigns aimed at addressing the scourge of HIV/AIDS and elimination of malaria and diseases in the country, such as the test and treat policy and also his participation in the National Health Week. The Health Minister has since stated that the year has ended on a progressive note with the introduction of the National Health Insurance Bill to Parliament, which will be passed into law early next year.
We have seen increased budget allocation to the health sector. We have seen the formulation of the 7th National Development Plan, which has recognized the health of the people as being central to sustainable development. We have seen the crafting of the National Strategic Plan that speaks to the 7th National Development Plan. and which has pitched again the health of our people and health system strengthening. It is important that legacy goals that have been set through key documents that we have crafted include malaria elimination, and the President launched the National Malaria Elimination Strategy, which is a statement to eliminate or intend to eliminate malaria by the year 2020. The test and treat policy is yet another legacy pronouncement that the President made in 2017, which puts us firmly on course in attending epidemic control of HIV/AIDS. We've seen a surge in the numbers just after the President pronounced that test and treat policy. We have seen the crafting and the putting into effect of the National AIDS Strategic Framework, leaving no one behind. Again, another milestone in our quest to eliminate HIV/AIDS. Our National Health Week, which brought to the fore the importance of lifestyle in fighting diseases, again was launched by His Excellency the President, again to show his leadership in the fight against non-communicable.
The Lusaka City Council LCC has engaged Lesmilk Enterprises Limited to expand the drainage system at Kulimatawa bus station. The works involve replacing of the existing 150mm underground drainage pipes with the new 600mm pipes, which are expected to take in more water than the existing ones. LCC Acting Public Relations Manager George Sichimba tells Q News that the move is aimed at reducing the flash flooding currently being experienced at the station. Mr. Sichimba says according to the contract documents, the works are expected to last for 4 days. He states that the contractor took possession of the site and commenced works yesterday, Friday the 15th of December 2017. He says excavation works are already being done and the contractor will start laying new pipes and reinstating the excavated portions. Mr. Sichimba says the National Roads Fund Agency, NRFA, will fund the project with LCC being the implementing agency.
These works will involve a replacement of the existing 150mm pipes with the 600mm pipes, which are expected to take in more water than the situation is currently. To try and control the dumping of solid wastes in the drainages, Lusaka City Council is in the process of beefing up what we are calling physical security around the station so that they can maintain law and order and also arrest those that are found dumping solid waste in these drainages. The floods are not just affecting a few individuals. All of us are affected. As you know, that Kulimatawa is a busy local station in Lusaka, and everybody passes through there. And when it is flooded, we are all affected. Bus operators are affected because business goes down, and those that are trading around there are also affected, and commuters are also inconvenienced. And so let's take this upon ourselves and make sure that we take care of the new infrastructure that is going to be put up there so that we can avoid these floods.
Governance activist Leslie Chikose has called on the government to consider reverting back to the conventional way of distributing farming inputs. Mr. Chikose says inasmuch as he welcomes the rolling out of the e-voucher system, it is important to note that technology in this area has failed the farmers. He tells QTV News that it is sad to hear that most farmers do not have the inputs yet because of some challenges in the implementation of the e-voucher system. Mr. Chikuse says the government should ensure that the system is perfect so as not to affect production, thereby threatening national food security.
The innovations that are being put into the agriculture sector must be transparent, there must be certainty that these are innovations that are not going to again discourage farmers, because of maybe technology. Now, I think the e-voucher system is not working very well, especially that most of the farmers are not getting paid, at the right time. And when you look at some of these cards, they have not yet been, debited with the necessary funds that are supposed to be, given to the farmers. So I think that we need to relook at, this system and see to whether it is very effective for farmers that are more, are ordinary farmers who are whose main interest is just to, prepare the harvest and harvest at the right time.
The Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, has called on government to refocus on refining the Republican Constitution next year. YALI governance advisor Isaac Mwanza tells QTV News that there is need to make amendments to the current Republican Constitution. Mr. Mwanza says if Zambians cannot agree to amend the Constitution, then there is need to hold a referendum on the Bill of Rights so that when taken to Parliament, the entire Constitution should be repealed and replaced with a new one. He says 2018 should be a busy year for all stakeholders in ensuring that the lacunas in the Constitution are addressed.
So in 2018, we are looking forward to some reforms that should be able to take place. For instance, I think we need to see amendments to the Constitution. If we cannot agree on the amendments to the Constitution, let us go for the referendum on the Bill of Rights, so that when we go back to Parliament on the Constitution, we must have the whole document repealed and replaced by a new Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. So 2018 should be a very busy year for civil society and government in trying to negotiate. We don't want what happened with the referendum to fail again in 2016, which happened in 2016, to fail in 2018 to 2019. We must be focused on the referendum. We must be focused on giving Zambians a very good constitution which they deserve. And I think that government must remain tolerant to the citizens and the opposition political parties. We must be able to dialogue. Even the opposition, they must be able to understand that there's only one country that we have. You cannot be criticizing government all the time and expecting that government is just going to keep quiet or listen to you. I think that criticisms are very good and government must take criticism. But at the same time, I think that they must offer solutions to the
Political columnist Dr. Lawrence Mwelwa has called on the Patriotic Front government to consider taking retrospection of the way they have governed from the time they regained power in 2011 to the end of 2017. Dr. Mwelwa has noted the need for the Patriotic Front to consider having a listening ear and allow the people who put them into power offer direction. He says the PF can do better than they have and are performing currently with the help of direction from the people. He notes that there are currently a lot of things happening in the political arena and other areas of governance where people are trying to give advice and governance, but the PF is not allowing for the advice to be given.
They need to do much better than they have done. They need to do much better than they have done. I think there is need for a serious reflection, a serious examination of how they have governed the nation from the time that power was given to them in 2016 to date. A lot of things seem to have gone wrong, and the challenge which we have is that they don't seem to be listening to the cries of the majority. They don't seem to be listening to the voice of reason. They are adamant and adamantly focused in a certain direction. They want to pull or to pull people in a particular direction, and whoever calls or says anything, say, never mind, we are in power, we are in control, we are driving the seat. But I think that as leaders, you need to have a listening ear. You need to listen to the complaints and the cries of the people that you govern. The people must govern.
Zambia Tourism Agency Chief Executive Officer Felix Chaila has noted with concerns that foreign tourists are more vulnerable to harassment on roadblocks, more especially those driving foreign number plates. Mr. Chaila says police officers manning roadblocks must appreciate the importance of having tourists in the country. Mr. Chaila says in order to promote more tourists to come into Zambia, the agency, in partnership with the Ministry of Tourism, has engaged the Zambia Police Service to consider reducing the number of roadblocks. He says there is need for all institutions in the country to ensure that they play a part in the promotion of tourism in the country.
Unnecessary level of police roadblocks have been identified to be a nuisance to the development of tourism, and because they work to scare the tourists, and in a number of instances they also serve as a source of harassment to tourists by policemen who may not appreciate or understand the importance of tourism. If you like, tourists are more vulnerable to harassment at police roadblocks, especially those that are driving foreign number plates. And therefore, in a bid to improve tourist arrivals to our destination and to create an environment in which tourists can thrive and enjoy their space, we as a Zambia Tourism Agency, and indeed with the Ministry of Tourism, there's been collaboration and an effort to work together with a view to reduce unnecessary presence of police roadblocks.
The Opposition Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD Felix Mutati-led group, has called on the newly formed National Democratic Congress, NDC, to stop politics of provocation. MMD acting spokesperson Tobias Kafumukache says he has noted with concern that NDC officials are practicing politics of provocation, saying this kind of politics is not welcome in the country. Mr. Kafumukache says each time officials from this newly formed party issue a statement, it is provocative in nature. He says this is the time to practice civil politics.
We urge Honorable Kambwe to live up to his name as honorable. And this politics of provocation, we have had enough. We have had enough of this politics of provocation. We don't need politics of provocation. May we stick to politics of issue-based. Issue-based. May he be issue-based. May he not incite the people. May he not provoke the citizenry. It is not correct. It is not correct. In as much as we do not agree with the acts of violence, but may we protect this democracy. Let us protect this fragile and growing democracy of our country. And we don't expect issues of provocation to continue in this country. Let us be issue-based. We urge Honorable Kambwe to be issue-based. Let him point.
That is all we had for you in the news. For more news, you can visit our website, www.ptvzambia.com. My name is Shelly Tinsenge. Pleasant viewing and God bless.